I think he's smart enough not to invade what's it called? A NATO country, because that would probably be a very bad look, especially now that he has seen how poorly his military performs with a non-NATO country. Yeah, he's not looking to start beef with any NATO country. I think the odds at this point in time of Putin invading any NATO country is like less than 1%. They're insanely small. I guess my question
at this point, but I mean, like if they take over Ukraine or if they maintain Crimea and they slowly, I mean, like
they're not even close to that.
They're not right now because of how much the U.S. is helping, though.
Collapse.
Yeah,
right.
But like
now we're in a position to arbitrate and find a peace.
Yeah, but the peace, it's not peace if they hold on to Crimea. That means they conquered territory.
It's still peace. They have territory, sure, but it's still peace. There's no war going on.
No one play like Civilization or any like Paradox games or whatever.
No, I'm not a gamer. You know.
Okay. I mean, like when you're in wartime in these games, like when you go to sue for peace, you're not allowed to be on the losing team and say like, okay, well, I'm losing right now, so let's just stop the war right now, and I want to hold on to all the territory that I'm keeping. The game mechanics won't let you do that. They'll say, sorry, you're losing the war. If you want to have peace now, you need to give away like all your land. Like if Ukraine is winning this war, I don't know. I would say to Ukraine, whoa there, buddy, time for you to slow down. I know that you're doing okay right now, but you're gonna have to give up that territory that the whole world agree that you own to Russia because they've got nuclear weapons.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, let me phrase it like this. What do you personally care about more? Who the Donbass region belongs to or nuclear Armageddon? Like, which one of those is like more
Both important? Of those are important, but I think that
one of them has to be way more important.
But the thing is, all the foreign policy plays
is way more important than I don't really care that much who controls
all the foreign policy plays into itself. Right.
I understand.
Like, for instance, let's say here, what signal do we send to the world then if Ukraine falls? The signal that we send is if you don't have nuclear weapons, people can invade you and destroy you because we're too scared to fuck with them anyway.
That's a red herring argument. We're not talking about it. We're talking about
that is.
I'm not, because again, I'm not saying we shouldn't provide them with anything. Russia steamroll through Ukraine. I'm saying that at this point in time, right, when there's hundreds of thousands of people dead, there's, massive, the whole country's in shit, that maybe instead of provoking and further, like contributing to the conflict, we should just be taking the position of mediator and trying to find peace.
We're trying to mediate, but Russia doesn't want to have peace right now. No. They want to hold on to Crimea.
At this point, Russia wants to come to the negotiating table.
You can't negotiate to keep lands when you're losing. That's not how negotiation works.
Who made that rule? I don't understand. Where did that
it's the rules of the world. If you're losing a war, you can't say.
Where's this rule written? What?
On the battlefield, and it's paid for in Ukrainian blood. They're winning their war. It's their land.
Any kind of deal that the both parties consent to.
But why would Ukraine consent to it?
Why would Ukraine consent to it? Because we're gonna stop giving them nuclear weapons. Or we're stop giving them more weapons aid unless they come to the negotiating table.
Okay. All right.
That would be a pretty strong motivator. Do you think if we said that, they would come to the negotiating table? Like, hey, listen.
No, I think Ukrainians would probably still fight. That's what I think. But I don't know, maybe not.
They can go through like a few months of fighting without military aid and U.S. military aid and U.S. intelligence, and then I think they will quickly change their tune after that. Literally, the big reason they're winning is U.S. intelligence, right? Like, if they don't have that, like they're not going to get that far.
Okay, sure.
I guess like my question would be like this. Okay, like. It's going to be a two-part question. What do you currently, as things are, the way things are going, what do you see the potential risk of nuclear Armageddon? Like, what would you put it? Or let me rephrase that. What do you see the potential risk of a nuclear bomb being used?
I think it's pretty low. I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean, who knows? I mean, anything can happen.
Just like try to put a ballpark it.
Ballpark, I would say less than 5%. That'd be my hope, guess.
Okay. I hope you're right, but
I feel like because like a nuclear weapon being fired, there's several stages of authorization for this to happen. It's not like Putin himself is launching the nuke. Like we've come close to nuclear Armageddons in the past, and people have stopped from doing it. I don't think it's going to happen overnight.
No, dude, that's the thing. Russia doesn't work like the U.S., right? In the U.S., like I think if like when Trump was in office and he just had a crazy notion to like bomb like fucking Iran, like the generals would not actually follow through on that. Russia doesn't work that way. All the people who are the top of the Russian military are people who have proven loyalty. So in America, we reward competence when it comes to the military, generally speaking. In Russia, they reward loyalty. Competence doesn't matter, which is why so many of their top generals are completely competent at their job, right? Because their only qualification is being loyal to Putin. So if Putin says, let's launch a nuke, right? There's no checks and balances. The nuke is getting launched.
There are checks and balances. There are multiple people along the stage of actually.
Who do you think the checks and balances are? Who do you think
people that are involved in actually firing a nuclear weapon? It might be people on a submarine that have to make the choice to do it. It might be the other guy that turns, if they've got the fucking suitcase keys. It might be generals or people that relay signals. Like, it's not like Putin pushes a button on a machine and then a nuclear weapon fires.
All the people who are in positions of power, people who are ultra loyal to Putin.
Yeah, but you're talking about loyalty in this, in a like, oh, like I'm loyal to Putin as my ruler. We're talking about like pushing buttons that are going to end mankind, right? My hope is that it would be pretty hard for a human being to be involved with that. I'm pretty sure there have been 2 different points. I think it was one in Russian history, and I think it was one in U.S. history during the Cold War, where the option was set before humans to end civilization or to start firing
apples and oranges, because it was a different. You're talking about the during the Cuba situation, right, with Kennedy. It was different. I've actually looked really closely into that story. So it was a submarine, and they were told that if they were under attack, they have the authorization to use nuclear weapons. But it was still up to them, the people on board, the captain, the 3 people, decide whether they were under attack. 2 people thought they were under attack. One of the guys said, you know what? I don't think we're under attack. They never got a direct order. They got no orders to actually launch a nuke. It was up to their discretion. One of the guys used his discretion to say, hey, I don't actually think America's attacking us. I think there's something else going on. Very different situation than someone directly at the top of the Russian chain giving an order saying, let's launch this nuke. That's situation.
Do you think given that order, do you think they would do it? Do you think somebody would start firing nukes?
100%. I think that Russia does not work like the US. I think that, yes, I think if Putin gave the order, it would be done.
Oh, okay, well.
I think maybe the general will be like, hey, Vlad, you sure you want to do this, buddy? He'd be like, yeah, fuck them. They're taking Crimea, fuck it. And they would fucking do it. Like, and if they didn't do it, Putin would replace them within days. There's been, there's been massive purges, right, of like the Russian intelligence and whatever. Putin constantly does purges. He takes out anyone who he even suspects of being disloyal to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I got my faith. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll bet you a lot of money on it, because if I'm wrong, then we'll all die anyway. So fuck it. But
yeah, sure. I mean, that's a bet I want to win, 100%.